like in reading the book, the Mama Zagbe book, and just reading about that, because I was reading things like they knew the power of these women, you know what I mean? And they used to do stuff like, you know, they used to make them keep their doors open, you know what I'm saying? So they could watch them all the time. They knew their power. So there was a full on extent to just suppress them. Like what type time frame are we talking about as far as like is
You
this
ever
like
heard, you heard the Salem witch hunts, right?
yes.
That's the most recent episode of the same repeat cycle
Mm-hmm.
of undermining those women that would wake up to other women. You go back and you review the record, you'll see that there's one episode where all of the girls start doing a dance. They was all doing the same dance in different parts of the town, right? And they murdered them all because this is called hiving.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this is what the practice that the whirling dervishes do when they
Mm-hmm.
spinning around,
Mm.
right? They are trying to stir up mitochondrial energy by becoming a centrifuge.
Mm-hmm.
The gravitational pull on the body release certain enzymes in the blood that powers the DNA to try to discover what's taking place because it's giving you the sensation that you're in the centrifuge,
Mm. Mm.
right? And the enzyme that it produces gives added charge to the mitochondria.
Mm-hmm.
But the men can only raise it so high, and then that's high as it'll go without the aid of a woman,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't stay. When the dervish get done doing or the Sufi,
Mm-hmm. Sufi. Mm-hmm.
all of the Sufi rites are the rites that the women of these civil priestesses are supposed to be practicing
Mm-hmm.
because they want to turn their mitochondrial up. We talking about going from a 3 foot aura to like a 60 foot aura,
Mm-hmm.
right? And being able to instantaneously heal people just by the people stepping inside of the aura,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
right? So who touched my hem of the garment? And the Savior didn't see, but he turned around and said, somebody touched me. How do they
Mm-hmm.
know if you didn't see and they only touched the hem
Mm-hmm.
of the garment? How
Mm-hmm.
do you know they touched you?
Mm-hmm.
I felt it, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? How did you
Mm-hmm.
feel it? It was within the confines of my energy grid.
Mm.
When the person stepped in the energy grid, they absorbed the energy that powers the mitochondria.
Mm-hmm.
And the mitochondria powers the DNA, and the DNA began to activate as a crystalline light body in order to heal the body, in order for all of these things to balance out in your system.
Mm-hmm. So that's heavy, man. So I mean, just and these are the sciences that only a small individual, small groups of. Now, let me ask you this question: different things like this. Is this certain things that the sisterhoods, like your Mama Wati and all these other sisterhoods, that they still have that type of information that they're still, you know, holding on to? I mean,
Well, you still have long lines of yoni priestesses.
hmm
You got long lines of doulas.
yeah,
You have long lines of midwives
hmm
that has been family tradition passed down.
hmm
The difference in the midwife and the doula is the midwife has access to Western medicine as well
mm,
as the traditional
tradition,
rites,
yeah,
right? So they
hmm
normally will have a nurse practitioner in Western science perform the functions um, as the midwife.
hmm
And she's a doctor and she can write prescriptions and all that.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
okay, okay. So another thing, you know what I'm saying? I want to kind of build on Star Wars, so to speak. Not really the movie, but yes, kind of the movie. You know, dealing with we know there's a galactical council that oversees this planet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest? Who's beefing the biggest right now? as far as controlling the palate? You know, what's popping right now?
Right now, the whole Galactic Council is in a state of amazement
Mm-hmm.
that one of us figured out this scrambled egg.
Mm.
Right? They're like in awe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's people from various places waiting to come in at the close. So we're gonna see some phenomenal shit in the sky. And I don't even like talking about that shit. Because we got
Mm-hmm.
problems. We ain't even focused on the shit on Earth.
Actual fact. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's definitely understandable. You know what I'm saying? Yo, and if, of course I see the people in the chat, etc. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to go ahead and ask them the questions, because you know what I'm saying, we got the good brother here, you know what I'm saying? So, please ask your questions. I see some shout outs, the brother Rod Hayes, some of your people out here showing you love and which they supposed to, you know what I'm saying? You know,
Mm-hmm.
so people watching this, brother Rod, and they're saying, what can I do at this point? You know what I'm saying? What we hear all this, we starting to wake up. Can we? What's your what would be your? How can you assist to some of these individuals that might have questions like that? Because I hear this all the time.
Well, we still got to tribe up. We have to
Mm-hmm.
start communicating with family members that we wouldn't normally communicate with.
Mm-hmm.
We have to start organizing tribes. But your tribe don't necessarily have to be related to you by blood.
Mm-hmm. True.
So you probably tribe up with motherfuckers from 50 different countries,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's those people all on the same shit you on,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's
But
true.
then somebody else, they might only deal with a certain group of people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, like when you were with Black Magic, and all y'all brothers were together, vibing all together. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I was so happy to see that, man. I'm damn near cried, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, most of the time you see this, especially in the '90s, all that stuff, people arguing about, oh, the Sumerians are better than the Egyptians. Oh, I'm right, because you know what I'm saying. It was none of that. And you know what I'm saying. You really had a real good point because everybody's coming together in harmony. And I think that my personal opinion, is just that what you said is so key, just because we can just accomplish so much more with
Yeah,
like-minded
well,
individuals.
look, we gotta respect everybody' right to disagree with us.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody not supposed to like us,
Yeah.
right? Just like everybody not gonna hate us.
Yeah. Exactly.
Everybody ain't supposed to understand where we at,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we all got a different piece to the puzzle.
Exactly.
Because we all lived a different life,
Mm-hmm.
right? We all live the same life. This should be boring,
Boring. Yeah.
right?
Very
So
true.
we watch the ups and downs, the rises and falls of other people.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to give us the tools to understand about our life,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
That's
then
it.
we sitting over here, able body, supposed to be a whole man, and we bitching because somebody don't like the organization we belong to.
Exactly.
I got a right not to like what I don't want to like.
That's it.
You can't make me like your shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most retarded shit. And that's where we getting jacked up at
Mm-hmm.
because we letting other people make us follow what they want us to follow instead of coming to our own conclusion
Mm-hmm.
based on personal understanding.
Mm-hmm.
We don't trust ourselves because if we did, you can't lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
You tell your higher self to get the answer, and then a week later, that shit just occur to you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You be like, oh yeah, that's the answer to that question I asked. Where'd that come from? How did I know that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But we got to activate higher consciousness and higher self-respect, love of self, knowledge of self, in order to be able to use that of any effect. All these people talking about manifestation this and manifest that,
Mm-hmm.
manifestation this.
Mm-hmm.
It don't work like that,
Yeah.
right? Manifestation on you, it's the same as going to the gym to get buffed to enter into Mr. Olympics.
Yeah.
If you don't practice manifesting shit, your manifester ain't gonna manifest nothing.
Manifest nothing. Yep.
Right? So
Mm-hmm.
while you sitting there tearing down the other people that's manifesting around you, you could be learning how to make your own manifester manifest the shit you won't manifest.
Manifest it. Yep. That's
Just
actual
put it
fact.
in your personal manifesto. It's for you to
Mhm.
read.
One of the and I'm going to say this, and as a question somebody put in the chat, and you can deal with that. But one of the things I always think is very interesting because you look at life, from quote unquote a subatomic level, meaning, when I say that, I mean you you're not looking at it and just dealing with this mundane third day reality, even if we have to deal with it. Your mindset is coming from, almost a overstanding or an outer standing. You know what I'm saying? Of what we have to deal with this third dimension. You know what I'm saying? Could you kind of build on that, the importance of that?
But the position you start with is, why in the fuck are we here?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, so we here, we live in our life. What's the point?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now the only way to know what the point of being here is, you have to study how different people live life.
Mm-hmm.
By studying how different people live life, you might take some of the rules they use, some of the tools they use, and use them to your advantage
Mm-hmm.
to help you in your own life.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So they say leaders are readers. Right? But if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book.
In the book. Mm-hmm.
Right? Closed mouth never get fed.
Mm-hmm.
And the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Mm-hmm.
In the lingo on the land, that say that the wise one sees the problem, finds a solution, and makes a consistent noise before the people,
Mm-hmm.
so that the squeaky wheel can be properly oiled in order to resolve the problem
Problem.
that confront the collective tribes. This is not
Mm-hmm.
a one tribe issue.
Yeah.
This is the all tribes
All
issue.
tribe. Mm-hmm.
So all tribes from the land, on the land, have to click up with their family members, their tribe members, they extended tribes, and they have to raise a matriarch to give the orders. So what it looked like is, when each group, no matter if it's 10 or 1,000, each group got a matriarch and they ready, they alert the resource center for the grand matriarch on the land, which is Mother Khadijah.
Mm-hmm.
So the resource center would be the local MGT. The local MGT are not to be approached by the men. That's not y'all job. The mothers are supposed to be telling them, we tribing up, we got our big mama. This her name, this where we at, this where we from, this is our head count. And the local MGT gonna say, okay, we need y'all to do this in order to have the proper structure for your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Then they gonna give them the structure. When they get the structure, they gonna go home and organize. You
Mm-hmm.
finance committee, you on the public relations committee,
Mm-hmm.
right? You on the planning committee,
Mm-hmm.
you in the cooking committee, right? So we putting
Mm-hmm.
people in the position that they love to do the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Important.
Yeah.
Nobody's supposed to do anything where they are going to feel taxed and labor.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to do the labor of love
Love.
for the ones you love in order
Mm-hmm.
to keep the love in the air.
Mm-hmm.
It's not personal, it's just how the families roll.
Mm-hmm.
When the mothers get enough mothers across the land, they're going to let Mother Khadijah know what's going on. They're going to give her back a report. And then she's going to give her order. And the government that failed, the ones that's holding on to listen to her to give her order, because she can't say nothing until we organized. She can't get no orders till we organize, grassroots level.
Yeah.
The work you doing, bringing me on here to even talk about this, is our efforts to reach out to our people
Mm-hmm.
and tell them we got to return to our traditional oral traditions in order to throw their false, artificial, legal fiction de facto corporation acting under the pretense of fraud off the land.
Mm-hmm.
Can't use their system to throw them off the land.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what has something to do with us is our system. So all of the OGs in California is organized. They wait on the West Coast. They ready.
Mm-hmm.
They have moves being made to cripple the financial stability of the opposition on the land on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is what you seeing going on there. That's why the governor was saying it was lawless in California.
I
That's
saw
what
that.
he's
Yep.
talking about.
Don't
Everything
come.
is well organized and it flows smooth. That means that they are operating in a military capacity among the tribes.
Mm.
They are only attacking institutions that hold economic prominence on the land.
Fight Club.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So they was right.